So I'm going to give you an overview of all of the baking pans. So let's start with, before we even do pans, the things that help us take food, hot food, out of the oven and do it safely. The first thing would be hot pads, all right, as well as hot mitts, all right. Sometimes people call this a pot holder. You can use it, fold it in your hand and grab something this way. We never use a dish towel because a dish towel has not been made for that purpose, for that matter. It also can't always distribute the heat and protect you. So a hot pad as well as a hot mitt. Hot mitt you put your whole hand into. They're always kept in drawer number 9 right beside our stove to make it easier for you. There's also a trivet, and that trivet is made out of silicone, so we can put a hot pan right on top of it like a saucepan. Then let's go to the pans. The first one is a pie pan. It is shaped, as you can see, it kind of has a little bit of an angle instead of going straight up like all of the other baking pans, like cake pans. This one is glass. I think that's a 9-inch pie pan. Then we have a jelly roll pan. So a jelly roll pan is different than a baking sheet. People call this one a cookie sheet. We call it a baking sheet because we bake more than just cookies on that. So this one we don't use for cookies because it has a lip, it has an edge. And so when we make a pumpkin roll in this class, we use this pan. We use it for a lot of different things, but it has an edge. This doesn't allow heat to distribute evenly when you bake cookies, so we never use a jelly roll pan for that. We use a baking sheet. Obviously this is a flat baking sheet, and the air can go all the way around it without any issue. This one, it's got an edge, all right? We don't ever use the jelly roll pan for cookies or pretzels for that matter. It is just for cake purposes. Then we have, this is called a 9x13 cake pan. It's also known as an oblong cake pan. All right, so the sides go straight up. These are nice because they have a little handle here on the ends to make it easier to handle. This is a square, as you can tell the difference in size and shape. All right, see how much smaller it is? It's also a square, so we call it a square cake pan. And then we have a round cake pan. It's got edges. You're probably most familiar with that one. And then this pan has a nice little edge to it, but this is a pizza pan. It's much bigger, as you can see, than this one, and you wouldn't want to bake a cake in that because that'd only be like a 1/2 inch tall. So this is a cake. This one is pizza. This is called a loaf pan because we make different types of loaves of things. So I can make meat loaf, for that matter, in here, as well as any type of banana bread or yeast bread or zucchini bread, like I did this summer a million of. Then the last pan that we have in our kitchen at our disposal is a muffin pan, and we use it to make muffins. Simple as that. It's 12 holes. I think we have 2 of those in each kitchen. Then this one, we don't bake with it, but the moment it comes out of the oven, things need to be placed on this. This is called a cooling rack. So super important, we don't set a hot pan on a counter, we set it on a cooling rack. We don't leave it on the stove top because the stove still has heat emitting up through it, so it won't allow it to cool correctly. If we lay it on the counter, there's no air being able to circulate it around it. On this lovely little cooling rack, we can let it circulate all the way around our food item without any issue whatsoever.